I think the hallmark of a great law professor is someone who can make the law both simple and complex. And Professor Bamzai could do both of those things. He was really good at keeping things really simple when they needed to be simple, but then helping students to see the complexities of the law when things were complicated and unclear.
I'd always been interested in the ideas and just trying to run down issues so that you could get at the ground truth of what was happening in particular cases. And at the same time, I'd always been interested, maybe because I had such great professors myself, in being in a position to convey those ideas to law students.
I took Professor Bamzai for administrative law, and now that I practice in that area, I am applying what I learned in his class every day and the principles and theories that I learned. And I think that that's, a sign of a remarkable professor.
I was reading cases in my career while I was in practice, and I spotted some patterns, some issues that I thought people had not fully explored. And so I thought I should explore them, like why not me? And that's really how I started out.
The standard advice that one gives to a beginning academic is to look for low-hanging fruit. When we first became acquainted with Aditya, he had not followed that advice. He sent us a paper on the Chevron doctrine. And my initial reaction was, oh no, that has been so heavily written about that there's no way that a beginning law professor is going to be able to say anything new and persuasive about it. But I read the paper, which has since become a very influential law review article, and I had to eat my words. It's a terrific piece of scholarship. That tells you something about Aditya's scholarly persona. He wants to work on the most difficult problems and solve the most difficult problems.
He's got lots more practice experience than a lot of faculty members, and he brings it all to bear, and he's just got an excellent eye for topics that other people haven't necessarily looked at or haven't looked at in the way that he does. And so he kind of drills right into a particular legal issue and then analyzes it with enormous clarity.
Professor Bamzai's career itself is an inspiration. He worked in the government and in private practice, and then now is an incredibly accomplished law professor. And not just through his scholarship or his teaching. He continues to author amicus briefs before the Supreme Court, and famously the Supreme Court even invited him to argue a case.
In amicus curiae, Professor Aditya Bamzai raised the jurisdictional issue, whether this court can review the CAF's decisions at all.
He was in his second year of teaching, I think, when he was granted argument time at the Supreme Court as an amicus. I think it was the first time since maybe the 1940s that a non-party professor amicus was granted argument time by the court, so it was a huge deal. He was a really junior faculty member. He'd only been here for a year and a half or so, and he noticed an issue that no one else had noticed.
Professor Bamzai provoked some good and hard thinking on all sides.
Something that he said all the time, and I think of his tagline in response to a student's question or after lecturing on a point of law, to stroke his chin and say, if you would just go back and read the original sources, whether that was a statute or a regulation of the Constitution, just go back and read. And I take that with me as a practicing lawyer every day.
I found that if you just keep scratching, it may be that you don't see something new the first time that you look or the first source that you start to read, but at some point you find things that other people just haven't noticed.
More importantly than the things he accomplished is how I view him as accomplishing them, and that's his humility. Even though he's accomplished all of these great things and wins various awards, he never appears anything but humble.
He has amassed a long list of accolades and accomplishments in his short time as an academic, but he wears those honors very lightly. He is not at all a self-important person. In fact, he's much more likely to tout his colleagues' successes than his own.
I am extremely humbled to have been awarded the Story Award for this year. The prior recipients of the award are so accomplished. They include several members of our faculty at the University of Virginia School of Law who I've looked up to as mentors and really admire.
Aditya, congratulations. We're all very proud of you.
Congratulations, Professor Bamzai. I'm really grateful for your teaching and for your support.
Congratulations, Professor Bamzai.
Congratulations, Aditya.